Welcome to Twin City Talk. Today we are talking to Keith Harris. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Glad to have you.
Keith, put that radio voice on.
Keith is Keith is an actor. Why don't you start with that and tell us a little bit about your acting career and what you've done?
Oh gosh. So how far back you want to go? I knew
as far
I
back
wanted
as
to be
you
an actor
go.
when I was 9.
Oh, that's cool.
I remember where I was standing when I made the decision. I was standing in front of one of those old pieces of furniture that was a TV, like had its black and white.
The console.
Yes, yeah. You turn it off and it's like with that little dot right in the center of the screen. And it was a close up of this woman. I could draw a picture of it, but she had this mixture of like love and betrayal and like all this stuff going on in her face. And I just remember looking at that, going, "I want to do that." And never changed. And so, I grew up in a small town. My parents were in public education and not theater parents by any stretch of the imagination. So it was just, doing community theater and
Where was it?
Reedsville.
Okay.
Yeah, and then my high school theater teacher got me to the North Carolina Theater Conference. And a scholarship audition, and I got a partial scholarship to Catawba College and transferred up to Western. Graduated from there. Spent a couple of years doing touring children's theater all over.
How apropos.
Yeah, yes. First real paycheck. And then went back to grad school, UNCG. Got my MFA in acting with a concentration in film, and actually worked with the very first graduating class from the School of the Arts, film
that's
school,
cool.
to do my thesis. I talked the program into letting me do my thesis in a film as opposed to a stage production because I knew I wanted to go that direction, and did that and moved out to L.A. I know.
All of Winston.
I'm like, it'll pass. It'll pass.
That's right. Went out to L.A. Was out there for about 5 years. Moved back. I don't know. It might be more than you want, but
I'd like
Don't
to
worry.
hear
There
it
you
all.
go. I actually had more work in the first 4 months of moving back here than I did the last year in L.A. So,
Wow, that's impressive.
yeah, So yeah, that's
Tell us a little bit about Walking Dead because that's such a big show. How was your time on that?
The Walking Dead was one of those. It's kind of like being on Star Trek or like a show that's just so iconic. I didn't really know what I was stepping into, but they drove me up to the set, and I was a hilltopper, and they had built this full-on brick and mortar, colonial home, 3-story. You walk in the door and it's completely empty inside. It's completely gutted, but the exterior was, at the exterior of the hilltop, but it was like the production value on it was just through the roof. It was like being on, Lord of the Rings or something. It was just no expense was spared, and everybody was super nice, very tight knit family. It was just really funny to see the first day on set. They discover us in this warehouse and like save us from this, horde of zombies, and it was just funny in between takes. The zombies are sitting over by Crafty, with their, with their on their phones, like, kind of like smoking cigarettes, watching that. It was quite the introduction.
How did you wind up in that role?
Just auditions. I had auditioned for it a handful of times prior. And I had actually never really watched the show at all. And I was like, I guess I'll watch it. I'll figure it out. I'll give it a chance. And that first season, it just grabs you by the shirt and yanks you. And then watched, several seasons of it.
What season were you on?
I was introduced end of season 6 and killed off into season 8. But season 7, they introduced. That's when the world expanded. So you had the hilltop, and you had the saviors, and the junk people, and the sea people, and the Alexandria safe zone, and the this. I mean, it was like, I don't know, 6 or 8 different storylines, and the core team kind of fractured during that season. So it was following a lot of little. My story kind of went along with Maggie, and her pregnancy.
Yeah, I've not actually watched the show, so I don't.
Sorry. Asking all these insightful questions. I
really, it sounds all great.
Not interested at all.
So do you know Cullen Moss?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know he was in like a 3-episode arc or something. And, as with everything Cullen does, sweetest person in real life, but he always plays the a-holes.
Yeah.
And he
Outer
was,
Banks, for example.
Yes. My wife went to high school with him.
Oh, yeah.
And we've hung out, but I'm like, Cullen, you're always on the wrong side of everything when it comes to your acting, but you're such a sweet guy. Yeah. And he played, I believe he was in the one. What was the young girl's name that died in that hospital scene? About the time I stopped watching. But, yeah, he was responsible for that. And as much as I love him in real life, it was really nice to see him getting eaten.
That's right. Yeah, he's a good guy.
So
how
when
you
you
went down?
Yeah, I was about to say, when you went down,
know-
did you go down like
Yeah.
dramatic?
Well, it was funny. I went down. I actually survived. I got my foot stuck in a bear trap.
Like you do.
Yeah, like you do. I hate it. It was a Monday too. It's just so typical. Then there were zombies that I fought off with Seth. I just went blank. On his character name. He plays the pastor on the show, he was going blind. I played this doctor. We had just found these antibiotics in this house, and he was trying to get me back to Maggie for her, birthing process. And, we survived all of that, and he had helped me escape from the Saviors, because the character had a brother that was with Negan at the Saviors. He threw Negan threw my brother in a fire and killed him, and then came and brought me over to be his doctor. And so he was trying to get me back to Maggie, and so we went through that whole process. And then the Saviors had been tracking us and found us, and one of them shot me. After all of that, after surviving a bear trap and a zombie attack, I get offed by another person.
Jeez.
And it's one of those situations. There was a buddy of mine, Brett Gentile. He was a hilltopper as well, and he had gotten killed off earlier in the season.
Was he? Didn't know that.
He was like episode 2. He got killed off in that season 8, and I had chatted with him, and he was like, "Yeah, I got this call from Scott Gimple," and I was like, "Oh man, that really sucks, dude." So I was at home one night. It was about 9:00. I was in the kitchen. And I looked down and I see this 310 number come in. I was like, no. I'm picking up. I'm like, "This is Keith." He was like, "Hey, Keith, this is Scott." And I'm like, no. I knew it was coming. But it was a fun time.
So I'd love to hear a little more about you and Burgess acting together.
Yeah, Burgess is my boy.
We go back.
Yeah,
we back a ways.
We do. Best time, Wesley. I mean, that was
So much fun.
Yeah, that was a blast. We shot it all around Winston-Salem.
Yeah, it was a good film. I really like that one.
Old Salem, and where was that fort? There's a fort that we shot outside.
Fabra.
That's probably Bethabra, yeah.
Shot out there. Shot in the basement of what are they? The the children's home. Is that what is that
Yeah,
is
it
that what
was.
it
That's
was
right.
it?
Forgotten about that.
Yeah, down in the old basement down there. We built the deck of this ship. And we shot all over. And he and John Jackman's a master of green screen stuff. This was way before,
When did that come out?
LED volumes and stuff.
Right. When was that? Was that
That was a while back.
It was a hot second, man. It was 10 or 12.
The movie, 2009.
9?
9.
Wow.
I'm looking.
Is
at
that
it.
when it was released?
Yeah, that's
So
when it was
8.
released.
Yeah, so it would have been 8.
Yeah, I shot it in 2000. And that's ridiculous.
That is crazy.
That's too long.
Was it that long?
Evidently. Yeah. Yeah, it's always like that, though.
So what else have you guys been in together?
Oh, gosh.
It was a feature that he produced.
Hero.
Yeah, Hero.
Yeah.
That's. Is it out?
Yeah.
It's
It's on Prime, I think.
Prime. Okay, great.
Yeah. Hero and then Red Dirt, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot
I
about
forgot
Red
about
Dirt.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, me too.
Red Dirt Rising. It's about bootlegging and kind of the formation of
How
NASCAR.
The early days of stock car racing.
Where your ticket buys the whole seat, but you only need
The edge.
I'm just going to sit here and listen to you guys. And we were also in the trial together, weren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't share any screen time
Yeah,
together.
didn't
but
share.
Yeah.
It was that and Fall Down Dead. I don't think we had any screen
Nah,
time together. We were both in it.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah,
that the trial or was that Jimmy?
Wasn't it both?
It might have been both.
No,
I had
I
forgotten
got it.
about the trial completely, but
Weren't you on the stand in the trial as some lieutenant?
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's right. And I just gotten finished narking on you.
Oh,
before I messed-
right.
My scene work is to say, well, there's this guy,
Oh,
and he's the problem.
I
it was
forgot
your
about
character.
that completely. Yeah.
Yeah. Me too.
And then Jimmy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't share any screen time in that one
Yeah.
either.
No.
Yeah, but both in it. Yeah,
So
so a lot of
that's
them.
5 or 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's a lot.
Yeah.
Been
Yeah.
around a hot second.
So you also own a business, right? Magnified Productions. So what exactly is that? What do you do?
Magnified Productions is a production company that I've got in Greensboro. It's based in Greensboro, and it's we've done the gamut of things. We produced a feature film called Shifting Gears. It's a family sports comedy about dirt track racing. Produced a pilot for a TV series that we're trying to get off the ground now, called Seesaw. But we've also done unscripted series content for kind of branded content. We worked with a company called KTL Restorations and Hemmings Motor News. They're kind of like Auto Trader, but Hemmings Motor News. But they've been around since the 50s or something, and they were working with KTL Restorations to do a nut and bolt restorations of a 98 F-250. And it was kind of monster garage-ish, kind of follow the individuals that were doing this restoration and some of their quirkiness, as well as just kind of watching the transformation of this truck into a monster overland vehicle. And it was a 6-episode web series that did for them. And we've done commercial work for Dewey's Bakery and for other things like that. So that's kind of
So you actually live in Greensboro, right?
I do.
Which we'll forgive you for. But so
I'm over here a lot.
so what do you love about Winston when you are here?
Winston, so I actually taught creative producing at the School of the Arts, at the film school. It kind of came full circle. It was interesting because I had done my thesis there, and then Lauren Vilchik was the executive producer of Shifting Gears, and then I got to circle back and give a little back. So it was nice to do that. But Winston's great, and I love the focus on the arts here. They've got a very supportive community for the arts.
Yeah, we were just talking about that with Piedmont Opera.
Yeah, and the Project 411, that space.
Claire
and,
Calvin.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Looking forward to getting back to some of those events. I haven't been able to make it to the last couple because I was down in Louisiana working on a project.
I couldn't get there either.
Yeah.
My cousin Gary is he's the AV coordinator for the J School at Carolina, and he's working with them to put together the film and audio stuff for that.
For the Stevens Center?
No, for the 411.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, isn't there's some, I thought it was, maybe I'm have it mixed up, but there's some space there that's going to be a commercial kitchen.
Yep.
And then there's going to be an AV space that's going to be like a control room for the
Yep.
Stevens Center.
That's in the
like
back.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So, what do you find the hardest part of acting?
He's like, I got to hear this.
I
one.
know, right?
I'm all over his
The
teeth.
hardest part, I don't know. They say, I've always heard it said this way: find something that you would do for free if you could, and do that. That's how it is for me. Like, I would do it for free if I could, if I didn't have to raise my family. You know, I mean, it's something that I enjoy so much. It's, you ever had those days when you get done with the day and it's like, that's my sweet spot. I just spent my day in the sweet spot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's stress and there's, hurry up and wait, and there's, all the things that go on with preparing the character and, all that stuff. But it's not I don't find it hard. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. For me, it's not anything about the difficulty of acting itself.
Yeah.
It's not about building the character or the work that goes into that. I love all of that, like you do. I mean, like you said, I'd do it for free if it could, kind of thing. To me, the hardest thing about acting has nothing to do with acting; has to do with the business.
Yeah.
It's the lack of control.
That's a great segue for that. Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, that's when it hit me. I moved out to LA, and it's called show business, and business is the bigger word. And and
It's not show business, it's show business.
that's right. And it was my first. I had this meeting. I'm sure you've had these as well, but going out and meeting with this potential agent, it was that first. And this is the kind of thing that needs to get taught, because I went out, handed my headshot and resume, and he grabbed it and kind of looked, flipped it over, looked back. He was like, "Yeah, I got 5 of you."
Harsh.
I'm sorry, what? I have my MFA, I'll have you know.
Yeah, so
Right? You don't have 5 of me. And that was one of those kind of, hello, LA moments.
have I ever told you mine?
No,
Oh man, yeah. So I just got my first manager, and we were talking about brand strategy or how you're going to approach the pilot season and so forth. And her assistant comes walking in, hands her a cup of coffee, and then takes this stack. And just big old sack, and she sets it on the edge of the desk. And we continue to have this conversation, and she's sipping her coffee, and she just takes her hand in mid-conversation and slides the stack off the end of her desk into the awaiting trash can on the side. And I'm like, okay, don't say anything. Just keep talking. And so 5 or 8 minutes go by, and finally I'm like, okay, time out. I got to ask. That looked like manila envelopes with headshots, resumes. She goes, "Oh, yeah. That's what that was. That was headshots and resumes that were submitted to me by potential actors. But I know that sounded heartless. But if I went through that, I couldn't help you because that was today's mail. It was this tall."
Oh my god.
Yeah, and that was my big splash of cold water. I was like, "Jeez, this business," And so that in that stack of headshots, there are 2 or 3 brilliant actors.
Yeah.
who,
Yeah.
may never see the light of day. And that's true in, I think, any business that has these
Think of
aspects to it.
garage bands that are better than
music,
most of the stuff
course,
that's out there.
Yeah, performers, music. There's so many things where, it's not necessarily how good you are so much as it is, getting the opportunity. And so whenever I'm talking to other actors about it, is you have to be great at what you do. You cannot be just roll the dice that some lucky opportunity is going to come along. You have to be great at it. But then after being great at it, you got to get in there to a point where you're after volume, volume, have bandwidth, have the ability to have your agent say, send in Keith. He, he's got great comedy chops. Send in Keith. He can be the leading man. Send in Keith. He's the best friend. Send in Keith. He's the doctor. So no matter what comes along, they're going, we can send you in for that. And so whenever I'm talking to people about it, I'm just like, don't be some one-trick pony who's really good at this, because your volume goes like that. Immediately. Yeah. And you don't want your agent going, well, Suzy's really good at the best friend. What about this and this and this? No, let's just stick with the best friend. So.
Yeah. That's so true. I was standing one time, was kind of another one of those moments that started me kind of down the writing, producing path. And I was, a buddy of mine worked at a production company. He was in a writer's room. And went in to the office, and I don't even remember how I got in this office, but it was after hours, and it was a casting office, and it was not a room, maybe this big, without this corner piece, and 3 walls were stacked about this high. This is paper headshots and resumes back in the day. They're about this high. 3 deep, around 3 walls. And I just stood in the center, just looking around, just going, how does anybody ever get to the top of that pile? Like, huh? And so that's kind of when I started writing. I was in sincerity, because I was like, if nothing, maybe I can write myself something to be in, and if not, at least I've got this thing that I can sell if it came to that, potentially. So, yeah. Another piece of it was when Lavender and I did Chicks 101. It was a feature that was shot in and around the Triad area, way back in the day, probably 05, 06. We put a 2-line blurb in Backstage East, and then he put a P.O. box, and we were looking for, all different kind of types. Long story short, he went to the post office thinking he's going to pick up, some headshots and resumes. The postman was like, pull your car around back. He proceeded to unload like 4,000, bins of 4,000 headshots. And some of the stuff that was submitted was like, we had a couple that were, we had one that was just like a handwritten note that was like ripped out of a circular binder thing.
I hope you framed that.
We had this one lady from the UK. It was this black lady who was in chainmail armor, sitting on a throne with a sword between her legs. Oh my God! We got them from Australia. We got people submitting from all over the place. It was crazy.
So how has digital changed that now?
Better and worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there were. Prior, there was a film about Earnhardt that was shooting in North Carolina.
3? That one?
Yeah, I think so. And I auditioned for that film 6 times. All right, this is prior to digital submissions, before they really gained traction. I had to drive to Wilmington 3 times, and then Mooresville 3 times. And so you could tell that they liked me and they were trying to find something for me, but I was like, that's all gas.
Yeah.
You know, you get the call and you're like, hey, you got an audition tomorrow. Okay, 3 hours to the beach, spend your 20 minutes, 3 hours home. And that is one advantage of Greensboro over Winston, because it's 30 minutes closer to the beach.
Further from Charlotte and Atlanta. Make a point.
So, you know, that's all gas money. And you get
And
home
time.
and
Time. There goes your day.
Yeah.
And people do that kind of stuff all the time. I mean,
All the
do you
time.
have friends like,
Yeah.
oh, it must be nice? I'm like, oh. Do you want to talk about how many come close, the how many
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
get, how many
Exactly.
times you
Ugh.
flew or drove and your
Yeah.
days are gone?
Just gone.
Yeah.
And not to mention gas and food and like
Hotels.
whatever else, hotels,
I mean,
anything like that.
did you ever have the occasions where you go to a callback
Yeah.
and it's 3, 4, 5 in the afternoon, and you go in, you do this thing, and they're like, "Oh, it's great, and we love it. We're gonna have another round of callbacks tomorrow morning. Can you be here for that?" And you're like, "Sure, yeah, I got nothing planned.
Yeah.
I can be here. I'll just go grab a hotel and hang out here."
Yeah,
and I get it. I appreciate
Right.
that. But the same, and I knew this is what I'm signing up for. It's not like
Yeah.
you don't know that. But then you're
Right.
talking about I drove down here. You
Yeah.
know, I'm a young actor trying to make this work. I didn't have 2 nickels to rub together.
Right.
I just got a tank full of gas down, tank full of gas back. The hotel I got to pay for, and then if I don't book this, well, then there's that I got to
That's
deal
right.
with. So on a
That's
regular.
So true. So true. So with electronic submissions, you know, it has definitely taken the, you know, financial burden out of that situation for actors. But the volume
That's what I was wondering. There's
gone
probably more.
way up as far as submissions. So
Yeah.
as far as casting goes, you know, that's where now a reputable agent helps, because I think a lot of times, especially with the speed of TV, you know, it's coming in and, you know, casting directors are looking at their top 5 agents first. And if they're not finding what they want, then, you know, they'll
Yeah.
start looking around. But just the sheer volume of auditions has skyrocketed in that scenario.
As well as the volume of submissions and the potential for other people in the market and so forth. And like you thought weeding through it before was hard. I mean, there's so much more of it now.
Probably a lot of delete instead of push into the trash.
I mean, right, yeah. Which again, I mean, that for me circles back to needing to be really, really, really good at what you do, so that you can have a reason to stand out. That's that first and foremost. I mean, but I also would say that it's relieved that burden. But then I also think, I'm curious to get your take on this. I love the fact that, you know, I've got a home studio, I can do all that, and I'm not on a plane or spending in a hotel and that kind of thing. But not having that interaction in the room anymore, where you can talk to a director and you know, say, this is my spin on this, and this is my take on it, this is my choice, and this is where I'm coming from with the relationship. Do you have a thought on this, or where, you know, we can bandy those things about, and then maybe come to another place with it? That's something I miss. You know, I really do miss that. So
There have been times where I think it's Erica Arvold. Sometimes she asks for kind of your personal story, kind of a thing.
She's great at
And
it.
there have been times where I have just sent in, you know, a clip of that very thing, just going, this is my thought process behind the takes on this, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, 20, 30 seconds, you know, nothing in depth, but just to give them, and a lot of times, if you do more than one, if you submit more than one take, they have to be different enough for them to see a range. So that can work to your advantage, but you can also spend, you know, typically in the room in person, you know, you're lucky if you get 3 takes, right? And
very.
with a little bit of feedback, and, you know, a lot of times you're going in, you do your thing, and they go, thank you, and that's it, right? Home studio, you can do 15 takes. You can do how, and so it can end up actually taking more time if you're not careful. If you don't, and that's where I like script prep and all that stuff first, because I try to, as much as possible, keep those in the, no more than 5 takes on it, because you would never get that in an actual in the room scenario. So
well, you can start going snowblind looking at stuff. You keep making that's a new discovery. I want to try that in the next take. And then the next thing you know, to your point, you put down 18 takes. You start going back over. You're like, well, like 2, 9. Well, 11's good. And when you start to do that all day long, you're like, oh my god, and hours of your life are gone.
And then 6 hours later, you could have driven to the beach and back.
Truly, preferably.
So are there any? And I want to hear your answer on this too. Are there any types of personalities or characters you would like to play that you haven't yet?
Well, my
I have so many thoughts come to mind. None of which I can say.
My dream, character was always Spider-Man. That was my dream character.
Was that your favorite comic growing up?
Oh yeah. He was by far my favorite. But unless I get into the old Spider-Man in the multiverse, I think that ship has sailed.
I don't know. It guys getting really good.
I don't know how you describe that. It's always nice to have something with some meat on the bones. I don't really know how to describe it other than that. When there's good dramatic tension and there's just a good backbone to the script. That's always nice to see. But
what about you?
Oh gosh, I mean, like dream role. Yeah, I think if you really love what we do,
have you already done it? Have you already done your dream role?
I've played some great parts that was super grateful to play, and I reflect on those, going, it doesn't get a whole lot better than that with some of them. It's true. Yeah. One of the things that I think is true. I'm curious to your opinion on this, but there's something about playing a villain or a compromised person that is really interesting to me because they have no boundaries. I mean, the villain can do anything, and somebody who's compromised can do literally anything, and it's not beyond the realm. Whereas, if you're playing somebody who has this moral compass they have to follow, which is always great to play. There's sometimes restrictions, and so sometimes when I get to play these really interesting characters like that, I'll go, okay, well, what if you get to play what if to the ends of the earth, and ooh, that's an interesting thought line. So, but I mean, to your point though, I've played some great bad guys. I've played some really fun. I mean, Hero, honestly, that's a little movie that probably very few people will see in terms of large scope. But I mean, you and I got to play some really fun characters with that. Yeah, those were some really good characters. I mean, I didn't think of it at the time, but when I look back on that, my character reminds me a little bit of the Roy Hobbs character in The Natural, just in terms of tone, not necessarily storyline. And I didn't even realize that at the time, but I like that feeling. So I don't know, a superhero would be fun, be so much fun to play. And
what was your favorite superhero?
Oh gosh, I did love Spidey. I read the Hulk a lot. I could get into the weeds about that. I was actually cast in the very first Hulk movie. Yeah, and I got the part of the flashbacks to the young Banner, but the father character's not Bruce. It's his dad, whose name I suddenly can't remember. But Nick Nolte played that part, and it was the young version of him. And I got to audition for Ang Lee for that, and it was so cool. And he was wild to audition for. I did the read. And I come in the room. First of all, it felt like Kung Fu Panda because he's sitting cross-legged on a stool like this, just watching. And I'm like, this is the wildest thing. So I do the thing. And he's like, it's good. And I go, is there more to that? Let's do one more time. Okay, do it again. It's very good. And then that's the end of the thing. And then I got the part. Well, Nick Nolte. So Nick Nolte.
He's a trip.
Oh, he's a trip.
Yeah, I worked with him on A Walk in the Woods. Yeah. Go
I
ahead.
hope your experience
Yes. No, go ahead.
was excellent. I didn't have an issue necessarily. I kind of saw his point on this. I didn't at the time. At the time, I was just very angry about it. But so he wanted somebody playing the younger version of him that was more gritty in vibe and in tone. And so I got to work for a week on this movie and then got recast.
Oh.
Yeah. I was very, very frustrated by that because I was so excited as a young actor.
Yeah.
And my favorite comic book growing up was like, this is like, you know, I mean, I'm not the Hulk, but it's pretty close. It's pretty cool. You know, it's kind of great. So that was a disappointment, but it was a lot of fun at the same time. So
Yeah.
these things happen.
Yeah, that happened to me on a film. I was cast. It was about a space camp. I don't even remember the name of it, but it was shooting down in Alabama. I drove down, and it was. I went to this audition, and it was only like a couple of pages, but it was this bus driver of this group that was at space camp, and long story short, I get down there, get dressed out, get the part, go back and forth, have a whole email string. I basically said, we needed a new mattress at the time, so I negotiated, they got to guarantee 3 days, so so I'll go down and do it. And I said, okay. Go down, get all dressed out, get on the bus, and talent comes on. We're getting ready to rehearse the scene, and the AD goes, "Can you drive this?" I'm like, I mean, if you need me to pull it to a stop or, give me 30 minutes, I can probably get it around the parking lot pretty good, And it was a full-on city bus, And he was like, he got real quiet, and he was like, we need somebody that can drive the bus. I was like, you should have thought about that when you were casting the role, right? That's one question in the audition, right?
And maybe the most important one.
And so they recast me on the spot with the bus driver, the actual bus driver that was.
Oh my gosh!
I was like, okay, and then they didn't want to pay me the 3 days, so then I had to. I got the receipts right here, buddy.
Easiest 3-day paycheck you've ever had.
It was.
Watch somebody do your job for you.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so this. Yeah,
I think you and I can sit here and do acting stories.
My gosh, this business.
A podcast.
Oh
Could be a
man,
podcast.
we could do this.
Oh my gosh.
all day.
I was just thinking that the whole time. I'm like, we've had this discussion.
Oh man, oh man. We just call that acting stories, right?
But there are some sweet spots along the way too. Like when I
I'd say
went.
most of them are sweet spots.
Yeah.
honestly, but there's
Yeah.
some wild ones too.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say?
Yeah, so when I went to Western Carolina, and my acting professor up there did work at Flat Rock Playhouse in Hendersonville, and Burt Reynolds was up there doing a one-man show, and he got us into a tech rehearsal. There was like 10 of us, and this is right before I was about to graduate, and it was a small space. I was sitting, maybe from me to you here, and he was just kind of waxing philosophic about his time in the industry and all these stories, and we're swapping around now, and there were a couple of times I literally had to stop myself from asking a question because it was just that kind of felt like camaraderie or whatever, as he was kind of sharing these stories. He was that easy on stage, and got done, and he went backstage and never had a chance to meet him at that point. But then I worked on a film called Elbow Grease. I think it got released as An Innocent Kiss, and he played my dad in it. And I was able to meet him and just share that story because it was such a inspiring night, as I was getting ready to launch off into this crazy thing, and was able to share that with him and just say thanks. And that's those moments like that you just can't make up or you can't buy. It's real sweet.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've got those stories too.
I do. I'm not going to get into the story, but an occasion in downtown Atlanta where we had a cast of a movie I was working on. We went into this, one of many bars in the downtown Atlanta area, and we ended up at this table with a rapper who shall remain unnamed, and a fight broke out in the bar, and evidently it was beef between these two people, and guns got pulled out at this thing, and we're all just kind of going like, wait, what just happened here? And so we're trying to find a way out, but evidently kind of whispers kind of gotten rolled around the room, and everybody started going for the doors, and you couldn't get out, and it was packed at either end. And so at this point, we're like getting under tables because nobody knows what's going to happen, and all the lights come on. It was just one of these wild things, and then it just sort of petered out. But for a moment, that you're going, what? How did I wander into this? I don't know, but I mean, and nothing came of it. And it was maybe just kind of a show of force or whatever. But it was a strange thing because we were just shooting like this, like a Hallmark movie.
Oh, right.
So it was very.
Was that on set, or was that like after, and you were just going out to dinner?
After we were just at this place.
Going out to dinner or whatever. Yeah. That's
so
amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot of those sort of unexpected things. It's a little different from your Burt Reynolds story, but
and I was so inspired by this rapper. Right.
Who was about to sling some slugs.
Yeah, and the funny thing, I mean, it was. We were at the table with him. He was a really nice guy. We really just kind of chill environment, and then I mean, it just flipped. The scene flipped like a movie, honestly.
Right.
So yeah,
that's great.
Yeah.
Like the scene in The Mask when they're in the casino and everything, they start throwing tables over and everybody's behind it and he's coming through and being the whirlwind. I could picture that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
All right. So how can people find out more about you and your business?
Okay. Well, one of the things that was an aha for me as a kind of this actor, producer person, one of the things that's hardest, I think, for actors first starting out, first is just getting cast. Great. Feather in the cap, fantastic. Then you got to chase producers for upwards of 2 years before you can even find get the footage to use on your demo reel. And a lot of times, especially if you're young starting out, it's kind of useless at that point. So I started a division of my production company called Southeast Showreels. And what I do, the actors come to me and I write an original 1.5-page scene to type for the actor or actors. And then we shoot it so it looks like it's from something bigger. It's not just, hey, here's my monologue from acting class. And they use that as a demo reel. They have that they can put it up on their, on their Actors Access pages or whatever to use. Because now, especially in the instant everything, if I get, the last thing I was casting was the pilot for this series that I did. This was a couple years ago. If all I'm getting is just headshot and resume and a digital profile, I'm like, because you want to be able to see what somebody can do. And these platforms, you can take advantage of that. And so that's what Southeast Showreels does. And
Do you have a website for it or anything?
yeah, southeastshowreels.com. Yeah, southeastshowreels.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for
Well, thank
joining
you.
us and sharing all this great stories, and looking forward to this podcast you guys are going to start.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
We can just sit around, drink a lot, get angry, and tell
And-
wild
I know it,
stories.
guys.
And so we'll go up against smart less, and we'll be smarter. How about that?
Smartful.
Smartful. Smartinators.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us. You can find us on TwinCityTalk.com. Thank you.
Thank you.
The views and opinions portrayed by guests on this podcast are not necessarily those of the distributors and hosting companies. And if you love this podcast, that's great, but don't think about stealing it. Reach out to us and talk about the content because it is copyrighted.